Howdy, folks. So I've got an interesting project I've been working on for a few months. Had a pair of S12s that I drilled the front vents out, turned them about a little over, I think, a millimeter maybe in diameter. The idea with that was to make something that was tuned similarly to like the Soft Ears Twilight. You guys can look that up. It's got basically the front volume, which connects to the front bore tube, has like a big amount of vents in it, and I think there's a damper inside in the front volume. But I was thinking to myself, Soft Ears knows what they're doing, and there's probably a good reason for that. So I went ahead and drilled that out on the S12s. And on a side note, I was thinking I would try that on a pair of Olinas, and I drilled right through the fucking driver, killed them. Pour one out for a pair of Olinas anyway, but I didn't do that for the S12s. So then I did that a few months ago, and I've been screwing around with them trying to get some kind of tuning that's good, and stumbled onto this thing where I'm not going to give up the full sauce to this. People want to know, go join my damn Discord so I can just talk to people. I like doing that. It's fun. But, whoa! Post hole, baby! Jesus. Let's get some snow out of my... Yeah, so, project, right? Opened up the front bore on my S12s and... Oh, goddamn. And, tune them to something that sounds good, and actually stumbled across tuning them like an open back headphone. So because that hole is so big, I started with fully open, that is no inserts in the bore, no foam, no tuning stuff, just open driver to eardrum, then nothing on that hole that I drilled, and then nothing on the back of the driver. The tuning, whatever, vent on the back of the driver. And that sounded actually a lot better than I expected. It had a little bit of a blunted quality because it had a ton, and I mean a ton of mid bass, but other than that, it sounded like oddly good. So, and the oddly part was the staging. Staging was very open, very headphone-like, earbud-like rather than in-ear. So, thought, all right, well, I kept screwing around with that. Finally, last night I nailed it. And so, ended up with a tuning that's about 6.6 dB pinna gain. There's no roll-off in the subs, but there's more mid-bass than subs, so the subs at 20 hertz are the same as the mids at 800 hertz. And then it has a really nice big round bass shelf, gives you a nice bouncy organic tonality. Actually reminds me heavily of the older hi-fi from the 80s and 70s, which I barely caught the end of as a little kid. But so by that I mean those types of speakers used to sound very warm, very, very mid-rangey, and I don't mean high-end mid-rangey, I mean warm, thick, we'll call it mid-mids, so that'll be maybe from 400 to 1K, something close to that, 400 hertz to 1K. So yeah, it really sounded like that to me, and so I got the 6.6 dB of pinna centered at about 3K, but it starts probably a little below that. Well, it starts about 2.5, 2.4K. It has a very round shape to it, so it's very pleasing. And then it rolls slowly off. By 10K, I think 10K is equal to 800. Or maybe, I think it might be 1 dB down from 800 to the mids. So, like the treble is about 1 dB down. But like I said, it's an even linear slope down. And then after that, it evens out and to about 14K, and has no roll off at all. So it's like 1 dB down from mids all the way to about 14K, which is very impressive. So I hit a bunch of the tuning metrics that I wanted to hit, which is, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but there's nothing in the bore on this. It's driver connected to your eardrums. And that really did the trick for me. And yeah, a hiker here. So, that's about all I'm going to say for now, but these sound, well, okay, so the metrics I hit were the headphone-like staging, open back headphone-like staging, nothing in the bore tube, so the driver has the ultimate resolution, and have it sound good, and nailed it. So, I'll probably put the graph on video and talk about it a little more. Right.